Hi guys! So today's a little bit different of a video. We are going to go to the yarn store. I need to go pick up some yarn for the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, Shawlography. I don't know if you're doing this knit along. I've never done it before and I figured this is a good year to start. So I bought the pattern and I got the preliminary PDF that has all the yarn requirements, and it says I need 5 different colors of fingering weight yarn, preferably in a solid or semi-solid tonal yarn, which is great because I love that kind of thing. But I looked in my stash and my stash is pretty tiny. I don't have a lot of options that look like they would go together, or I don't even have a lot of options generally. So this is what I've got. I've got 2 yarns from Pitchfork Fiber and 1 from Madison and State. This is so beautiful. I just ordered it and just came. Okay, wait, let me get it right. This is his Stalworth sock from Pitchfork Fiber. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It is 100 grams of fingering weight 4-ply, 463 yards in the colorway Night Fever. This is part of the Disco collection. So it's kind of like a beautiful tonal navy, which I love. And I would love to include this in the shawl. So I think I'm gonna bring it with me to the yarn store. I don't know if that's bad, but I can't match up colors if I don't have it. So I'm just gonna toss this in my bag along with this one. This is called Peony, also from Pitchfork Fibers on his Stalworth sock base. And it's like a really beautiful light peachy pink color that I think would actually look beautiful with the Night Fever. So that's 2 options. But I don't know. I have gone through so many different choices for this shawl. Then I found this one. This is the Madison and State Classic Sock. It's 100 grams, 85-15 superwash merino nylon, and it's in the colorway Lake Breeze. So this is like a really like light sea green. It's like bluish green, really beautiful. And I do think all 3 of them, I mean, they look good. They look really good. So at the very least, I need 2 more skeins. But I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a decent possibility that I'm gonna get to the yarn store and come up with completely different patterns or palettes for this shawl. Stephen West has put out, they do kits at Stephen and Penelope, and so I was looking at all the different kit options, and there's like neutrals with some crazy pops of color. There's some that are just straight up crazy, really bright colors, because it is Stephen West and he loves color. So some of them are way too bright for me. Some of them are sort of too neutrally for me. I don't know. He said to go for contrast. I'm not confident in my color choices, so I'm just gonna leave it all open. I'm gonna throw these 3 skeins into my bag and bring them to Nina Chicago with me so that I can use them when I'm putting together my palettes. And maybe I'll keep them for this shawl, and maybe I'll just save them for later. We'll see what happens. But I thought I don't have a bestie to go yarn shopping with, so maybe you could be my bestie. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit freaked out about vlogging in public or vlogging at all. But I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna be wearing my mask, so maybe no one will notice that I'm talking to myself. I don't know how people do this, but I do think it would be fun for you guys to come along and see what kind of palettes we can put together and hopefully come up with something really awesome. Okay, there's another wrinkle. So I am doing this today because my girls are at a duck pond feeding the ducks with our babysitter, and my 10-year-old is at a Cubs game with my husband. That means I have no car. So I'm gonna ride my bike to the yarn store because I'm classy like that. So I'm not gonna vlog on the bike because I am not that coordinated, and I do think I might end up in a ditch or in traffic. So I will catch up with you when I get there, and we can see where we go from here. Okay, see you in a bit. ended up taking the train because it's raining outside. So it's kind of an odyssey to get there, but let me show you what I got. So when I first got there, thankfully there was no one in the yarn store, so I could talk to myself without having to worry about freaking people out and take some videos. Okay, so the first thing that I saw when I came into the store was all of the Creo yarns, which Creo is a local indie dyer, and she does beautiful things. She's the dyer behind Movers and Makers, which is the house yarn for Nina Chicago that I adore. I've knit so many things in that. I knit my Hisho shawl out of that, all yarns from that collection. So I was immediately drawn to the Creo yarns. I put together a palette that had my 2 pitchfork fiber yarns, Night Fever and Peony, the navy and the pink, with a beautiful deep orangey red called Cold Blooded, and a gray called Flock of Seagulls, along with, it's a sort of a lightly speckled yarn called Pink Dalmatian. It almost looks white, but it does have like a pink wash to it with these dark charcoal gray speckles to it. So that was my first palette, and I thought at first, I was like, well, like done and done. And the more I walked around, the more I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to put together some other ones and see what I get. So the next palette I came up with it used all 3 of the yarns that I brought. So I had the navy, the pink, the very light blue from Madison Estate, and then I added in a red from Kelburn Woolens in their perennial base, and then a beautiful brown from Northern Bee Studio in their Yak Sock. Because I love brown and pink together, and I also love red and pink together, so I thought, like, let's mash them all up and see what we get. So that was palette number 2. Then at that point I was on a roll, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do something totally out of my comfort zone. So I kept the brown because I really like the brown, and so I had brown and navy, and then I found this beautiful chartreuse color from Less Traveled Yarn, and in their 757 sock. So I put that in there because that color is popping up everywhere, and I feel like they're wearing me down, and I'm eventually going to use it. So I had navy, brown, and the chartreuse, and then I was like, oh, this palette is incredibly similar to the palette that I had for my Hisho shell, which was, I don't know if you remember, it was navy, gray, really light pink, that's pretty similar to that peony, and then like a pop of a squash blossom yellow. So I kind of felt like this is pretty much the same, except instead of the yellow, you've got chartreuse, and I added in a brown. So I was like, well, that's not very interesting. I mean, I love that palette, but I kind of already did it. So I was like, all right, start over. So at that point, I was like, all right, I really have to sort of push the envelope and come up with some colors that aren't something I would normally gravitate to. Make it interesting, right? There's a mystery knit along. Stephen West, I should like really try to be adventurous. So I took out the gray because like gray, I love gray. We all know this. But I feel like this is not the project for gray. So I put in a really bright pink. I actually have some of this pink at home, but I didn't think I had enough, which if it turns out I have enough, oh well. So I put in the Dollhouse pink from Movers and Makers. It's like really bright, but not over the top. So I had the navy, the brown, the chartreuse, and the really bright pink. Oh no, my family is home, you guys. I'm gonna have to finish this later. Oh my God, what's going on with my hair right now? It is so humid in Chicago. Like, I actually blowed out my hair this morning and stepped outside, and it was like, ooh, maybe I'll be wavy. No, don't do it. All right, you guys, it's the next day. After everybody got home and we did dinner and we did baths and we did bedtime, by the time I got to a point where I could actually record, it was dark outside, the light was terrible, and I was just done. So we're doing it the next day. Let me just recap what I actually ended up choosing for my final palette. It's pretty much what I showed you. I'm going to use the Pitchfork Fiber Stalworth Sock in Night Fever, and then this beautiful brown color, which is Northern Bee Studios Sturdy Sock. It's 75/25 merino nylon, and it's in the colorway Juvenile Bald Eagle. Really, Northern Bee? But I love the color. And then hang on, what else do I have? the chartreuse, which is actually called arrowroot, in their Outspoken collection. It's 757 sack, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. This I love. And then, ooh, this is the Movers and Makers Dollhouse. And my last one is the this creamy color, which is Kelburn Woolen's Perennial in the colorway Natural. All right, let me see if I can hold this all up for you. I've tried a couple times. Okay, we got these and this. Okay, so this is it, right? We got dark tones, we got light tones, we got medium tones. Okay, but then when I got home, I threw it all on the table next to these other two, and I still was like, ooh, I like those. So I'm keeping the other two shades as backup colors. And while I'm working, if I just sort of feel like I want to throw them in, I still might. And that's where we're at. So I would love to know, are you doing the mystery knit along? Do you have a palette picked out? If you do, let me know and pop it down in the comments. I would love to see. Or you can always follow me over on Instagram. I am Not Fancy Knitter, KNOT Fancy Knitter, over on Instagram, and I would love to see what your palette is. Okay. All right, have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy knitting. So many sirens today. Ah, that didn't work out.